So today we are going to talk about Vue and React, and we are going to do a small comparison between them. Not like uh, in-depth one, just a small one. So these are the topics that today we are going to talk about, like what makes uh, those libraries so much popular, and what is React and Vue, and what's the difference between them, and some of the apps that have been made by using VueJS and React. And in the end, we are going to discuss like which one is suits which one is best for you. So uh, first of all, let's start with getting to know React and Vue. So ReactJS and VueJS are one of the most popular uh, React, sorry, JavaScript front-end frameworks that exist on the developers world. And currently, React holds the first place for, I think, for like 3 consecutive years between these two. And also I know there is Angular is also there, and in fact Angular is quite popular than Vue.js. But for today, let's imagine that we are in a parallel universe where Angular doesn't exist. So in this session we are just focusing on Vue and React. uh, so we use React and Vue for build various kinds of web applications, and each of them has pros and cons. And let's discuss about the features that React and Vue offers us. So, so this is the 2020 Stack Overflow survey that they did that they are doing annually. So in here you can see uh, React is quite high and the Vue is there, but in their uh, uh, upcoming libraries and frameworks, the Vue is quite high. And uh, I also forgot to talk about that React was made by Facebook, and Vue is just made by a random guy on the internet. So uh, yeah, so and React has been made by Facebook, focusing on their products, not just like care about us, but in the end they open source it. So both of them are open source, so which is quite nice. So let's talk about why they are popular. So I have there are a lot of not a lot of there's a couple of things that make them so great. So the first one is, so this is like what both of the frameworks, sorry, yeah, both of the frameworks shares in common. So both in Vue and React, we have this virtual DOM. I will explain the virtual DOM in the next slide. One for now, we use virtual DOM for increase the performance of the application, and both of them shares this component-based development. So if you have worked with React or Vue, you know that we are developing our web app using components. So using components gives us a lot of advantages, like we can reuse them, and since we are reusing them, it increases our developers productivity, and it's going to speed up this development process as well. And also uh, these two frameworks are open source, so you can contribute to them, you can request things from them, and uh, do things like that. And also these libraries are focus on the core library, so they are not focusing on about routing or global state management. So if you have worked with React or Vue, you know that you, in order to use routing or a global state management, we have to use other libraries like for routing we use uh, React router, and for global state management we use Redux. So things like that, because React doesn't focus on that part, which is same for Vue as well. So it gives us these advantages because uh, it really focus on their core, not about other things. So here's the representation of a virtual DOM. So our browser has a DOM, document object module, which is where our web page is displayed. So using let's say I told you that React and Vue use components. So and I said that both of them using this virtual DOM. So you can see that uh, the state of a component has been changed, and so the page has to be re-rendered. But since but it takes some computing to render that component or the page. So it does it virtually, not doing it the browser. So for example, you can see that it goes from this state to this new state in two steps, not just like these three steps, because these three steps are done in virtual DOM. Uh, so if you in other libraries or other frameworks which doesn't have a virtual DOM, it's going to render the whole page even for a small change. But when there's a virtual DOM, it's going to compare which part of this page has changed, and it's going to re-render only that part without rendering the whole page again. So that's going to improve our performance of our web page. So that's the virtual DOM. So what's the difference between Vue and JS? So we discussed about the similarities. So the main difference is the syntax. So with React, we are using JSX. With Vue, we are using HTML templates. And I also found that we can use JSX as well. But out of the box, Vue uses HTML templates. And when I was talking about routing and state management, I talked about React Router and Redux libraries, but which are not official libraries that offers from React. But for Vue.js, we have an official library for our routing and state management. For routing, we have the Vue Router, and for state management, we have Vuex. So both of those libraries are offered by Vue. So both of them comes from officially with, but for React, those two come separately by third party. So when I was talking about React and Vue, I told them that both of them are frameworks. But if you go through the documents, official documents, you can see Vue is a framework, but React is a library. So there's a difference between a hello. So hello, can you guys hear me?
Hello.
We can hear
Yeah,
Yeah.
listening.
So there's a difference between a framework and a library, and it's not a big, huge difference. There's a subtle difference between them. Don't ask me, I don't know. But keep in mind that React is a library and Vue is just a framework. So if you take a look at who uses React and Vue, React is used by Airbnb, Instagram, Uber, Dropbox, and Facebook is not there, and WhatsApp, which is so most of the services that offered by Facebook uses React. So if you take a look at the Vue side, Grammarly, GitLab, Alibaba, and this I don't know this IPL dashboard also uses Vue.js. Uh,
And Facebook.com uses React itself.
yeah. So
Yeah.
and there's a yeah, that's the thing. I mean, React is backed by this huge corporation, and Vue is just a library that just the
Uh,
developer came up with. So which one is for you? So Vue.js and React are both great, especially for building interactive user interfaces. But it depends on number of things. First thing is your requirement. If your web page or web app doesn't have any user interactions, you don't need to use Vue or React JS. And also, if it is a small scale application, you don't have to use React. It's a overkill. It's an overkill because React has been made for build large scale applications. So you have to consider your requirements and the availability. I We saw that React is quite popular. So if you are uh, creating a product that using React, you can find other developers easily compared to Vue, because there are less developers who knows uh, Vue. And the learning curve. So I went through a couple of resources that I found, and all of them saying is that uh, Vue has a quite easy learning curve, so you can learn Vue easily. And other than the virtual DOM, these two frameworks use different types of optimization efforts to uh, increase the performance of your application. So, and then again, that's also depends on your requirement. And the next thing is the community. So React has a bigger community. So let's say you're facing a problem, but so you can, if it is React, you can easily find an answer for your problem, and with multiple approaches. But for Vue, you might not be able to find, but it's not a huge thing. um, I'm just comparing it to React community and Vue community, and the Vue community is also really big. And the documentation. Let's say you are getting some developers that they don't know Vue Vue or React, so they need to learn. So they need to have go through this documentation. So Vue has this great documentation. Everything is documented very well in Vue, but in React, it's not everything is documented in React. So these are the some of the things that you need to consider when you are uh, choosing React or Vue to your your next project. Uh, so before that, I'm going to show you the Vue GUI, which is really cool. So in order to run this, you need to install the Vue CLI. So let me go to the Vue project manager. In here, using this GUI, you can create projects. So
oh, wow.
wait. Okay, so let's say I'm going to create a new project. Set demo package manager. I can use between npm or yarn. What I can There are the couple of options, and whether you can say that whether it's going to be a Git repository or not. And next, and we have presets or Babel or ESLint with Vue version 2, or Vue 3 with Babel and ESLint. So, or you can just manually configure them. Let's choose Vue 3. Can choose. So it's going to create the project for us. While it's creating, let me So if I go to this is a project that already exists. So if I go to that project, we have this dashboard where you can uh, add these widgets kind of thing. This is just the default one, so it doesn't have any widgets. So these plugins in here, we can see the plugins that that used in this project, and you can just install plugins by searching here, which is Go. And in here we have the dependencies that this project use. So you can see Firebase, Vue Router, Vue Fire, and the dev dependencies like Babel, ESLint, things like that. And also in here also you can install the dependencies. Uh, so in the configuration we have the, so this project uses ESLint. So if you can configure the ESLint issues as well, especially rules. So if I go to this rules thing, it shows the all the rules that there, and you can just change them. For example, if you have used ESLint, you can make them an error or a warning. So if, let's say if it's a warning, your build is not going to fail, and it's not going to take that rule seriously. But you can, if you label it as error, it's going to take it seriously, your build is going to fail, things like that. And with using this view what view configuration, you can just toggle between them, add new rules. And here tasks, you can see the npm scripts that we have. So this is the npm, which is the script to start the project. So in React we use npm run, sorry, npm start, I guess. But in Vue it's just npm run serve. So let me see, this is the project that I created new. So let me start this project. I haven't run this from here. Okay, it's run. Oh, it's building. I will open up. Yeah, so it's open this Ceph demo project. That's not the project that I want to show. Wait, how do you stop tasks? Oxyclone. So here's just a project that I used to learn. So you know that React also has dev tools, but Vue also has dev tools. So I haven't used the React dev tools actually. So this Vue dev tools uh, shows your how your component structure is there. I can see chat lists, uh, the different methods that you use, what kind of props that you use, so things like that. I haven't looked into these things. So Vue has some cool things. So, and also if I show you a sample code, so this Vue file has two main tags, a script tag and the template tag. In the template tag, where we are going to use the HTML part, we are going to create our HTML template. So in here, where we defining our JavaScript part of the application, or the JavaScript part of this component. So it has different syntaxes. So if you look at this part, this is this is how conditional rendering use inside Vue. So you can see if there's a user, render this part. If it is not, which means if we else, it's going to render this login part. And so you have to, and when you're using components, you have to register them. So as you can see, I have to register that I'm using these components before using here. So that's a little bit about Vue. I'm not going to talk about React. Most of us here have used React. Uh, so, mm so thanks guys for listening. This is a small comparison between React and Vue. So these are the resources that I used